So I said, what is the secret of money? And he said, Arigato your money. And which means appreciate your money.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Modern Sage Podcast, and I'm your host, Leah Guy, otherwise known as A Girl Named Guy. I'm so happy that you're here as always, and today's show is going to be a phenomenal one. I'm very excited to talk to our guest. Before I introduce him, let me just remind you of a few things. You can always go to my website, leahguy.com, to see videos, the podcast, my workshops, courses, my books, and more. Also, follow on social media at Leah Guy Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And don't forget, you can watch these podcasts on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Leah Guy. Now, today we're talking about money, and money is a big topic for most everyone I know. Everyone tends to have conversations about they either don't have enough money or they're wanting more money or some kind of energy wrapped around money. And our guest today is Ken Honda. He is the Japanese Zen millionaire, and he has a very popular book called Happy Money, and as well as other offerings of Ken's. And he's here today to talk to us about our relationship with money and how we can not only improve and get into a different state of mind perspective around money, but also how that affects other aspects of our lives. So no doubt this will be a fascinating conversation. Ken has sold over 8 million copies of his book in multiple languages. And he is not only just a former businessman, but a practicing participant in this very important work. So without further ado, here's Ken Honda. Hi, Ken.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be part of your show. And I just smile when you said a girl named Guy. I was a little confused, because English is my second language. And then, oh, this person is a woman whose family name is a Guy. So, and I got it.
And you got it. Well, good. Well, Ken has been on Good Morning America, on Forbes, on CNBC. He's a contributor to a lot of different places. So you are well-versed, obviously, in the topic of money and success. But the way that you come to your work with Happy Money is very different, because there's a lot of people that teach about money from a mental place or from a smart decision-making about investments and what we should do with our money. But the way you talk about money is our relationship to money. And that's what I really want to get into today, because it's a fascinating, beautiful approach. So tell us what your book, Happy Money, is about and your philosophy that started the whole movement.
Yeah, thank you. And I think before I start, I just want to clarify. I don't think I was on Morning America. It's a TV show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, not yet. So I just wanted to clarify.
Sorry. I thought I saw that on your
but
website.
I've been to many shows, so but I just wanted to clarify. But anyway, so happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it, and when you spend it, it also gives you joy. But unfortunately, 95% of us are living in the flow of unhappy money. That money makes you feel squeezed when you receive it, like in a form of check or investment. And also when you spend it, you also feel irritation. I don't want to pay these taxes or the bills. And so it's just your attitude toward money. And if your attitude and relationship is a positive one with money, your life will be so blessed, because money touches every aspect of our life: relationship, health, work, your peace of mind. But unfortunately, we've never been educated by our parents or at school or by our neighbors or relatives. So in terms of money education, we may be taught how to get wealthy or how to make money in investment, but we've never told about this emotional aspect, EQ aspect of money. And so we have to learn by ourselves. And we haven't. So that's why we feel so stressed around money.
Yes, I know. So many people feel stressed, and it's almost like a virus now, almost like a pandemic around money. We're coming from a place of lack, primarily. Most people come
Yes.
from a place of lack. And I've had shows before where we've talked about abundance and prosperity and so forth. But I love two things about what you're sharing. The
Mm-hmm.
simplicity. When you say happy money, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it feels good. It's
Yes.
simple and it feels good.
Uh-huh.
And also that this relationship of not just happy money coming in, but happy money going out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because money is just energy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I really enjoyed your past episodes, and like your former guest Victoria. I think her philosophy and ideas and mine are very identical. So I'm so happy to find, and also yours, Leah. That, there are people in the world who want to send out happy vibration, and we need more of you, like
Yeah.
on this planet. So, once again, as you said, money is energy. So, if you're surrounded by beautiful energy, not just money, but the people or the project, you feel very blessed. But unfortunately, especially in the West, people are not aware of what's going on energetically. We are aware of the numbers of our finances, but we don't pay attention to how the money arrived you. We may have taken advantage of somebody and then receive money. That's unhappy money, but it's the same number. So
Mhm.
people may not pay much attention.
Mm.
But when it comes to energy, it's a totally different game. So that's why I've been teaching how to receive money and how to let go of money. Because when you think of health, it's very simple. If you eat a lot and then if you refuse to go to the bathroom for the next few days, what's going to happen? But that's
Sick.
how we deal with money. We hoard money, but I'm not going to the bathroom. I don't want to release. That's so unhealthy.
Well, so I have a few things I want to share with you today, personal
Hmm.
stories that have happened that relate, I think people can relate to. But
Yes.
I know for myself, I wouldn't say I hoard money, but I do like to have a certain amount in my account to feel
Hmm.
safe,
Hmm.
and I start to feel a certain way when that number goes down.
Hmm.
But I noticed because, doing years of work around it, that constricted feeling makes me feel small and doesn't make
Yes.
me feel good. And when I
Hmm.
open up to that feeling and, trust,
Hmm.
then money starts moving again. So I think
Hmm.
what you're saying is whatever amount that you have to allow money to move through. Is that one of your philosophies?
Yes, and also my teaching is very practical and fun. Think about having a joint account with Warren Buffett or somebody like that.
Yeah.
So my one of the work I share is just imagine your joint account with the wealthiest friends of yours. And so if you have 5 joint accounts with your wealthiest friends, and you can withdraw money anytime if you are in need for cash. That means you never have financial problems in your life. So that is what I teach. Think about it. Money is not just the numbers in your account; it's the access of the numbers. So I have my best friends are very wealthy, so I'm not afraid of my bank account go up and down because even if I lose everything, my guys, my friends, and my female friends too, are not. They will make sure that I'm not gonna fall. So if I have good friends, not necessarily wealthy ones, but who make sure that they love you enough to watch your back, that means your bank account is just a temporary thing. If you're in need for cash, you can ask your friends, "Hi, Catherine," or "Hi, John, I'm in need for a little cash. Can you?" And then, okay, how much do you need? So
Uh-huh.
if you have the relationship is that deep with your friends, no worries for about money for the rest of your life.
So the access to relationships, family, friends,
Yeah.
even community, and I often think, if there were a food shortage. I live in a place that is very abundant with farms and
Hmm.
animals and, people growing their own. And
Right.
I often think how blessed and fortunate I am because I have everything I need right around me.
Hmm.
So that's an interesting way to think of it. Now, I don't know if everyone's friend is going to open up their bank account and say, here's $5,000 or here's $10,000, but maybe they would.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Money is such a taboo, especially in North America. Uh, in other parts of the world, people are not so freaked about your bank account.
Mm,
But I think it's because of your culture that your self-worth is tied up with how much you make or how much you have. Like in Japan and China, it's fairly common on like 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary of your high school graduation, your classmates of, like, say 20 years ago just got together and just say hello. Hey, how are you doing? And by the way, how much are you making? And oh, yeah, oh, you're making so much money. Oh, congratulations. It's very common. But in North America, if somebody, your friend, asks you how much money you make after 10 years of absence, you'll be probably shocked, right?
yes.
You
Yeah.
don't talk about those things. But
That's
what's interesting is in North America, sexual thing is not taboo. So you can grab an American businessman and ask, how much you have in your bank account. He's gonna faint. But if you grab a Japanese businessman and ask, how many times do you have sex a week, he's gonna faint too. So it's
oh,
we have a different taboos. So I think
oh.
it's very interesting how we react to certain things. So if money is not a taboo anymore, and then if you're in need for cash, you can ask your neighbor, you can ask your friends and mother and father without feeling shame or
Mm,
embarrassment. I
hmm.
think we feel much more ease and also peaceful around money. But unfortunately, talking about money, even among married couple, bring a lot of tense and a
Yeah.
lot of shame and guilt too.
Right. That it is really interesting. There's a lot of shame around money and how much you have or don't have. And then the fear that follows that, the fear of
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
enough, so therefore I don't
Mhm.
have enough, right?
Right, right. So I hope at least in your family members, or if with your couple, if you can heal the wounds or like a funny feelings around money, your relationship will be much deeper and also more fulfilling. So
Mhm.
especially in North America, talking about money with husband and wife or girlfriend boyfriend seems very hard. I've helped many Americans, and I don't get it. Why you feel so shame about money? It's just numbers. Just think about how much water or electricity you spent, not just in terms of the cost, but the gallons and also the watts. And
Mhm.
you don't feel shame around spending like 2,000 kilowatts or something. It's just a number. But
Mhm.
money brings out the worst feeling and the best feeling from you. So you have to really watch out, especially the negative ones.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is interesting when I always think about people who will freely spend money on an expensive coffee because that's what they
Hmm.
really want, right?
Right.
Every day they'll spend $5, $10 on one coffee.
Hmm.
And then they feel poor or complain about spending $5 or $10 every day on something else, whether it's electricity or
Uh-huh.
gas or what
Hmm.
have you. And that just shows you it's your mindset about what you desire versus what you think is somehow working against you or people taking from you or the fear of you don't have enough to be comfortable or something, right? It's the same thing.
Hmm.
It's the same, it's just numbers.
Yes, but the marketing strategy or culture is sometimes funny to a foreigner because there's an ad I think in TV, like a certain car or certain brands, and say at the end the guy say in a very attractive voice, "You deserve it."
Uh-huh. Right. Right.
So this is the feeling that a lot of American people go into debt because I deserve it. I should buy it. So I think I did a lot of work, so I should deserve to buy something, and that is such a unhealthy relationship, because you may deserve a nice rest, but not necessarily you deserve a nice car or nice something. It's just a marketing strategy. So unless you know your dance, you're dancing other people's songs. So you have to be careful which songs you want to dance.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. I remember I once had a small business, a storefront, small business. And I opened it myself, and I took the risk versus reward, money, time, energy, all of that, and I decided to open it.
Uh-huh.
But the experience was very informative to me, because I, of course, dealt with a lot of people coming in paying for things. Some people would
Mhm.
complain about how much things cost. Other people would say, wow, this is really affordable. And
Yeah.
I know that that's relative to how much somebody makes sometimes or whatever. But regardless, when they spent their money with me, I was so grateful, because they were feeding in to support my life, and I felt like I was offering them something to support their life, so it felt like a very equal exchange. And that experience taught me to spend money graciously, with a good feeling of helping someone else pay for their utility bills, the food, their children, college, what have you, instead of feeling like that person is taking something from me.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think that's a common feeling, that people think they're taking my money, this
Mhm.
money that I deserve, or this money
Mhm.
that I worked so hard for. But when you spend it with the thinking that I'm supporting this
Mm.
whole flow of life, it's really a beautiful feeling, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's what I call happy money. That brings you peace and happiness. Because when you take a look at the world, when we're born into the world, we just only receive for the first 7 years or 10 years. Right after we are born,
Mm,
as a baby, we don't say, "How can I help you?" We're
right.
just there, just crying, and just somebody needs to be there 24/7, pretty much, for the first 3 or 4 years. Like there are so many deer around us. When the deer is born, 10 seconds after, he or she is running around. But human, we cannot do that. And
Mhm.
also the last 5 to 7 years, and statistically, we need somebody's help unless you have a heart attack or something. So the first 7 years and the last 7 years, we need to depend on somebody. And in between, we help people or somebody help us. So when you look at life, we are in receiving business. So if you think of uh, you're a self-made millionaire, you're so wrong, because nobody can become a millionaire alone. Like I sold 8 million copies or more, and that means 8 million times somebody did the scanning the book and also did the credit card or cash payment. So I forever appreciate the people at the bookstore. They worked a lot harder than myself. So
Yeah.
people say I'm great because I sold so many copies. No, I haven't sold, maybe a few at my bookstore, at my lecture, but I never sold that many copies myself. So if appreciation, Leah, you mentioned a lot in your podcast, appreciation is really the key. So I'm just teaching from a different angle because I come from Japanese culture. So it's a little bit different, but I think we are all same human beings. Appreciation opens new doors for you.
Yes. Well, let's talk about that. So I read your work about this two simple words that can help change our energy around money. And those
Hmm.
words are thank you,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
we say thank you as we are receiving money, thank
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
And as we are spending money, thank you.
Yes.
So talk to us about the spending money and saying thank you.
Actually, this word was taught by my mentor, who used to be called Warren Buffett of Japan. He was once major shareholder of more than 100 public companies.
Mm.
So when I was in a long line to have a chat with this man, his name is Wahei Takeda. So why would you ask Warren Buffett if you have 10 seconds with him? So I said, what is the secret to money? And he said, arigato your money, and which means appreciate your money. And then I got pushed by somebody from the back and arigato my money. And that's the only thing I got from the Warren Buffett of Japan. And I kept thinking, what is arigato your money means? And I was so lucky to be back to his office. And then I had about an hour with him personally to talk about the spirituality side of money. And he said, arigato in, arigato out. That means when money comes in, you say arigato or thank you or danke or merci, whatever the language you choose. I like a foreign language, so I like thank you or merci because it's, it sounds exotic for me.
Right.
So you can use a foreign language in your own one. And then when money goes out, arigato out. That means thank you out. When money goes out, also you can appreciate your money for being with you. So if you can picture this, if money was a person, who would it be? Is that your best friend coming from long way, thousands of miles? You appreciate your friend, thank you for coming and spending time with me. And when you just say goodbye to your friend, as much as you feel lonely and miss him or her, wishing them the best and also just come back anytime. And also with money, you can say, come back anytime with your friends. And then, money might come back. So when money comes back, thank you for coming back. So if your attitude becomes like the one that you treat your best friend, that's a very healthy attitude.
Yeah, that's great. I love that analogy of your friend coming and your friend going, because it just makes so much sense. The fear, though, we
Yes.
have to move beyond the fear. Before we move on in this conversation, I need you to teach me how to say thank you in Japanese so that I can use that for my
Okay.
foreign language.
Arigato, arigato,
I
arigato,
arigato,
arigato.
arigato,
Yes, sounds perfect. Yes, arigato.
arigato
Mhm.
money,
Yes.
arigato out,
Yeah.
arigato in.
So people ask me many questions. I did the world tour actually a few weeks ago, spending 42 days from Helsinki, Finland to New York, LA, and Australia and back. And the most questions I got asked is, Ken, when you arigato your money, how do I do with my credit card? It's the same thing. When you pay with a credit card, when you pass it over to the cashier, you can say thank you, to the cashier, and at also same time with money. And when you're checking a bank account, when some money comes into your bank account, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then when the gas and electricity got deducted from your bank account, when you look at it, look at the numbers, you can say thank you, thank you, thank you, because you had the pleasure, you had the abundance to pay for the gas and electricity. You may feel upset about the cost, but just think about it. That money goes to electricity company, and also the workers, and also the power plant, and the people who just dug the coal or oil out of the soil. So thousands of people worked for your electricity, or your car, or your computer. So there are so many reasons. So in a sense, I want you to picture that your everyday life, you're floating in the pool of appreciation. So if you feel like you're floating in the pool of appreciation, you feel so blessed. A lot of people wanted you to have the electricity, wanted you to have the luxury of connecting with other people on the other side of the planet, like you and me, Leah, because of the internet. So
Yeah.
there's so many reasons that we appreciate about, and money is just a tiny fraction of life. So I hope after appreciating money, you start appreciating every little thing in your life. So that is almost like an enlightenment because you are in the pool of appreciation 24/7.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Ken, I want to share this very kind of silly story with you that just happened this weekend.
Yes,
So,
please.
so I go to events and festivals and different things as well with my books, and I have the product line and all of that. So part of my product line, small items, and they sell not a lot of money, but I like to sell them. And to me, it feels like helping a person support their day with something
Nice.
nice, right? So this gentleman comes up and he wanted an item. It was $14. And he asked me if he could have it for $12. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, it's $14. I don't really negotiate here. And I could tell he was a little flustered. And he told me he had just finished a program about negotiation. And so he was trying to use what he learned, right? And I said, well, I understand and respect that, but I also would like you to respect that, I brought the items here an hour away. I went and picked them out myself and I made them myself and all the costs and the money and the tolls. And I'm here generously offering it to you for only $14. And then I said, but if $2 means more to you than you think it means to me, you can have it for $12. It's okay. And he took it for $12. He came back and he bought another one of the same item and he paid full price. He went away and he came back and he said, you make a very good point, and I know that he heard me, and, I don't care about $2, but I think him having the opportunity, like we all have the opportunity when we become mindful of, like you're saying, it's not just paying for the utility bill. It's paying for the workers, the setup, the technology, the everything about it, and those things cost money. And so when we happily pay for that, we're spreading support and joy and love everywhere. And when we're not, again, it's that constricted feeling. So I just had that opportunity with that man. And, I've negotiated for things before too. So I don't want to say that that's bad, but it also feels good to pay the price and then some. The next guy came and he gave me $20 and said, keep the change. And he had a totally different energy about him.
Congratulations. You've just taught a man about the importance of happy money. Because we are on the cusp, do you want to be in the happy money flow or do you want to be in the unhappy money flow? He saved $2 for negotiating with you, but he's creating his own world that you have to negotiate everything in your life. The great thing about being here in Japan is I don't need to negotiate about anything. I don't need a lawyer. I have a lawyer, my best buddy from college, but we don't have anything. I've never been filed a lawsuit. And I talked with an American author friend of mine who sold millions of copies, and he's telling me all the fear stories about he got sued for this and that and that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my biggest complaint is the temperature of my seminar room is too high. So that is a cute compliment I get. So do you want to choose in a world that there is not a fight or a lot of struggle, or do you want to choose sort of like you want to be a fighter?
Yeah.
And just always fight with everybody you meet?
Yes. Right.
Yeah, that's your choice.
Exactly. And and I think people who want to try this principle, it does take some practice because, well, you have to have a little faith. You have to have a little trust in energy and in the universe and in your source, whatever that is for you, right? That if you arigato money out, that there will be more. That's the fear, is that this is it. And that's not the way the universe works. It's not it. There's no finite, right?
Right. And also, I'm not a new age person. I have a very practical business background. When I used to do an accounting, I divided my clients into two groups. One, I did just a regular thing. And the other one, I always brought something like a chocolate or a book or herb tea, Japanese tea, or something little extra to my clients. And I just did this little survey 6 months after I started doing that. From the first group, I got some referrals, but not much. But the second group, I always just show my appreciation for the business and the respect for the business owners. I got tons of referrals. So
Mm,
the investment I made was like $5 here, $10 there, not much. But my attitude toward appreciating the business together and creating a little fun feeling. Oh, that's a beautiful book, and the books are very, inexpensive gift because it could change somebody's life at the cost of $20, $30. So my point is that it works. So if you have any doubts, I'll just experiment in your life. It doesn't cost you so much money. You start appreciating your boss, your colleagues, and I've heard so many interesting testimonials, real stories, how they got raised, or how they got a funny, mysterious bonus that they never could figure out where that money comes from. So I think experience is everything. So I experiment this idea of appreciating your business, appreciating
yeah.
your coaching clients, and then see what happens.
Yes. I love that so much. Well, I want to ask you a personal question, Ken.
Yes, please.
I know you started in accounting with your father had an accounting business,
Right,
correct?
right, right.
Did you ever not work or have you ever been broke? Or maybe the question should be, what's the least amount of money that you've had and were you scared?
I think in terms of finance, I've been so blessed because I started working when I was 20. And then my father, who was a very successful tax accountant, started teaching me about money. So I started investing when I was 20, legal age that I could just start accounting and investing. So
Gosh.
I've never had any financial problems, and I never will, because and the financial problem means even if I lose everything under my name, I have many friends who support me.
Mhm.
I'll just ask my friends, can you spare $1,000 here, $2,000 here, and then I have many friends, so I think I can start over. So I think my bank account was low at a certain point, but I haven't had, at least emotionally, I've never had financial breakdown
Yeah.
like many people. So
Yeah.
I've been blessed.
That's wonderful. Well, what do you say to people who perhaps live in cultures that are not affluent, that don't have what we would perceive as enough?
Yes.
Would you turn this conversation about the abundance of emotion and resources in other ways?
hmm So it's just which direction do you want to look? Do you want to look for a scary world, or do you want to look toward abundant world?
Mhm.
So it's up to you how you turn your face. Do
Mhm.
you just keep facing your fear? Fear creates another fear. So I said I've never had much fear around money, but that's my personal thing. I have a lot of other fears in my
Yeah.
relationship and other things. So I'm not. That doesn't mean that I'm free from fear. So I understand how fear does to your system.
Yes.
So once again, it's how you feel your heart. So that's why I teach about Zen a lot in my seminars, because unless you take control of your emotional state, the fear and anxiety kicks in, and then it dominates your life.
Yes.
So my question rather to you is that I understand you may be in a tough situation financially or emotionally, but the question is this: do you want the fear to dominate your life? And
Mhm.
if not, you have to be in the driving seat. That means, just facing your fear and taking control over your finances. I know this overwhelming feeling, that comes almost like a waves, coming at you, and you may feel overwhelmed, but that's life. And the choice you can have is how you react to these overwhelming things,
Mm.
and you have to deal one thing at a time. How much money you have in your bank account, how much debt, and how you got into this. It's like controlling your weight too. So you just keep losing, or at some point you say, "This is it. I've had enough fear. I want my life back." And that is a time when you start turning things around, and you can start from now.
And start with gratitude, right?
Yes, and I've seen so many people study from such a terrible situation, but turn their life around, and then they're now living a happy life. But you have to start from somewhere. Some people start from here. Some people start from here or there. Emotionally, I started from a very bad place. My father was very abusive,
Mm.
so I was chased by a Japanese sword when he was drunk. So I was lucky that my arms and legs haven't been cut off because he was really crazy when he got drunk. So emotionally, I was so messed up in a sense. So I'm so happy that I started from below zero emotionally to a very happy state.
Mm.
So I understand you have to start from somewhere, and you have to start from sometime. So that's you can choose.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing part of your personal story with us.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, we all have different fears. We've all had different challenges. We suffer differently. But at
Mm-hmm.
some point we come to a place where we have to start and shift gears and take control. And I love the way that you said that. My final question for you on a personal note is,
Yes.
I know you love to have money and spend money. So what is one of your favorite things to spend money on? What makes you really happy to spend money on?
Oh, there are so many ways to enjoy money. So there's this type of joy that I give money to an orphanage in Cambodia. I paid all the utility bills for a year for the whole entire buildings, so they don't have to worry about electricity bills and gas bills because they were beginning to worry.
Mm.
So I enjoy taking the lift off from people's, especially young ones. They worry about money. Don't worry about money. Just focus on your life. That is one way of doing it. And also, I enjoy the business part of it side too. Like I teach seminars. I sell books, right? So that is more of an exchange
Mhm.
type of money. But I think I count it as giving too.
Mm.
So I give in so many different ways. Sometimes I get some money back, sometimes I don't, which is okay. But I have, uh, let me put it this way: all the transactions of money brings me joy. With money coming to me or without. Sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. But
Yeah,
equally, this kind of exchange is fun.
that's great. Yeah. I love to hear that. It's really inspiring when you can be free in this way, when you're
Mhm.
not holding so tightly to letting go or feeling like you're going to miss something. So that's really great.
Yes, yes. So 20 years ago, when I started writing, I signed a contract with a goddess of abundance and goddess of books. So I told, I had a little fun conversation in my imagination with the goddess, and the goddess said, how much do you want? And I said, okay, just give me $1 million, and I'll do whatever I'm asked to do. Either I get paid or not, and then I signed a deal. So whatever is asked of me, I'm just there to service.
That's
So whether or not I get paid, and as a total, I get paid handsomely. So that means it worked. So the key is just never judge anything. Is this making money? Is this working? Is this not?
yeah,
Don't care about those things because those small things actually don't really count. And when you take a look at the big picture,
yeah.
you're in life. You're giving your energy and receiving energy. So just give yourself 100% and see what happens. People are afraid of so much that somebody is going to take advantage of you. They
Mhm.
might, but as a result, there's this universal law. Whatever you give out will come back.
That's
So it may not come back from this person,
right.
but it may come from other sources, and you have to experience it yourself. Otherwise, you may read 100 books and it said the same thing, but when you experience it in your life, oh God, this is how it works.
It's amazing. It's so beautiful when it works like that. Recently, I had two experiences. I am taking a new learning program, a new school of sorts, and it's very expensive, and it's more money than I've spent on anything besides my home.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I felt in my heart and in my gut, and it was nearby, and I felt like this. I want to do this. I need to do this, and I'll just figure it out as I go. I'll trust that there will be enough. And so I made the down payment, and then there's monthly payments for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and within 3 weeks of me saying yes to that and spending the money, I got 2 checks back from the government that owed me money from COVID payments or something that I had no idea was coming in. I got a speaking offer. They tripled the money that I said I would do it for. And then,
Uh-huh.
a couple busy weeks just with my work. And all of a sudden I had the next 4 or 5 months of the school taken care of. And I didn't know 3 months
Mm-hmm.
ago that was coming, but I think like a lot of people like myself or entrepreneurs or self-employed, what I always tell people when I'm coaching them is, there's a flow and a wave that we have to participate in from our heart space and from that gratitude space of trust and giving and all of that. And if you have to go with that flow and trust it to be able to know and to grow and take steps. And undoubtedly it shows up. And so I'm living testament to that. And I know you are too. You do what is asked of you, and it comes in different
Thank
ways.
you. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story. And you have to experience it yourself. So
Yes.
my invitation is to go out, start appreciating about everything you have, and then give yourself more, and then see what happens. Usually, you get more compliments, more thank yous, and that is a beginning. So that is a sign that you're going to the right direction. And the funny thing is, if you appreciate it, you want to do more, and that's I think it's embedded in our psychology as a human being. So if we just get excited about what we can help other people, that is going to bring a lot of money in the future to you. So just share who you are and just give it the best shot and see what happens.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Ken, I value your time so much and I really enjoy your work. Thank you for sharing it with us. And for those who are listening or watching, his information links will be in our show notes. And your website is kenhonda.com, correct?
Yes, there's only one English bookstore, so I'm going to start publishing more in English, because this brings me my joy, Leah, to be able to share what I know with the international audience. I've done so much for Japanese people, and now I can offer so much to the world. And so, thank you so much for offering me this opportunity to be on your show. And I'm just sending all my love and blessings to all the viewers and listeners. And so thank you for initiating the beautiful process.
Thank you very much, Ken. And we will hear and see more of you in North America soon, no doubt.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
have a great evening or morning, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to all those watching, we'll see you next week on the Modern Sage podcast. Take good care.